Unzipped presents, 2005 Thai horror, thriller movie, Shudder. Spoilers ahead, subscribe, and enjoy snacks. In the starting scene of the movie, we are shown some friends at a party who were so happy. One of those boys was named Tun. He was a photographer. His friend named Jane was also with him, who was also a student of photography. There are also his college friends who are talking about his marriage and college time. Later, we see Tun and Jane in a car. They were drunk and Jane was driving the car. Then suddenly, while driving the car, Jane couldn't see a girl and hits him. That girl becomes injured and falls on the road. Jane was going outside the car to help her. But Tun was so scared and he stops her from going outside, with the thought of saving her from huge trouble. They leave the injured girl there and leave. They were very worried because of this accident. Strangely, there wasn't any missing or accident report in any hospital or police station. Tun captures some pictures on a function. When he sees those pictures, he sees a weird white shadow and the face of a man in it. To confirm this, he observes both negative and original pictures. A senior photographer also analyzes the pictures and checks the matter. He sees the same white shadow and the face in negative ones also. This makes Tun and Jane very upset, because it wasn't normal. Jane feels somebody's presence when she was home alone. Jane sees a girl in a picture development studio. She was coming out of the wash basin slowly. Seeing this, Jane gets scared badly. But she comes to her senses soon. Other than this, Tun also sees a girl in face of Jane. She wasn't real Jane, but somebody's ghost. When Jane sees those pictures, she gets to understand that it's the ghost of the girl who got killed that night in the accident. Strangely, Tun was feeling pain in his neck after that accident. But he didn't know why this was happening to him. Then Tun goes to a doctor for a checkup and also measures his weight. Shockingly, Tun's weight was double his original weight. It leaves both of them shocked. Keeping supernatural things in mind, Jane goes to a shop that sells ghost magazines. Going there, they get to know that most of the pictures in the magazine are fake. Customers were most likely eager to read magazines like this. There, the magazine's owner shows them an album. He tells that the pictures present in this album are all real. He was trying to prove that supernatural things exist. He tells that these souls come to the picture for a reason and captures in it forever. Changes in those pictures were alike Jane's pictures. He tells one more reason why these pictures are real. These pictures are captured from a special kind of camera. It's a camera whose images are not editable. The next day, Tun's friend calls at his house. He was so scared. He was asking for Tun's pictures and that girl. Hearing him, Tun becomes nervous. He wonders how he knows everything. Jane looks at these pictures heedfully. She goes to a college where Tun went. Then she goes to a lab and captures a picture from the same camera. Then she sees the soul of a girl who dies in the accident that night. She gets scared. She feels somebody's presence there. She was about to run when a picture falls down. When she goes and check it, it was a girl's picture. To know more about that guy, she checks college group photos. Upon checking, she finds a picture in which Tun was standing with that girl. Jane keeps this picture with her. Jane shows this picture to Tun and asks about it. Here, Tun tells her everything. Tun tells that girl's name was Nader, who was his class fellow. They both started liking each other by staying with each other. But suddenly one day, Tun asked her to end this relationship. It made her so sad. She cut her vein and blackmailed Tun that she'll attempt suicide if he left her. Tun also tells that he shared this with his friend as well. His friend said that we promise she won't do anything like this and they will take revenge on her. From that day, Nader was nowhere to be seen in the college. Tun knew nothing about this. Jane asks him that why Nader's ghost is troubling him and is after him. Tun goes to his friend's house, which was completely disordered. Then suddenly, he sees his friend attempting suicide. In a short time, he jumps off the building and attempts suicide. Now the wife of that friend meets Tun and Jane. She asks Tun that what happened with your friends and what you people did that everyone is attempting suicide by jumping off the building. The meaning was clear. She tells that all the Tun's friend jumper off the building. Tun gets scared by hearing this. He's compelled to think that he might be next. Tun and Jane goes to Nader's house and they meet her mother there. They find Nader's skeleton on her bed. This means Nader's mother didn't do her funeral yet. But why didn't she do this? Upon asking, she says that she still feels that if she's at home. Nader's mother tells her that her daughter attempted suicide by jumping off the building. The way of attempting suicide was the same between Tun's friend and Nader here. This thing was connected somehow. Her mother tells them that she didn't do her funeral because she didn't want to send her daughter away. Because she attempted suicide. Both of them make Nader's mother understood enough. After a lot of insistence, she agrees and finally, her funeral is performed. Jane thinks that everything will become normal now. When Tun and Jane were sleeping, Tun feels something weird and he wakes up. He sees Nader's ghost beside his bed and gets afraid. He comes out of the room to go down the stairs. But it felt like he's running and coming to the same place over and over again on the same floor. He finds Jane standing there. She shows her manipulated veins and asks why he did this to her in spite of this much love. Then suddenly, Jane transforms into Nader. Then Tun tries to get out of the window to save his life. But Nader's ghost comes there too. She tries to make Tun scared. Tun gets this much scared that he falls down. The next morning, Tun wakes up in a hospital. They come back to their city. Jane develops some pictures by going to that senior photographer. She observes the pictures by keeping these in a sequence. Upon looking, she sees that Nader's ghost is gradually going to the bookshelf. Jane gets some negatives of those pictures on that side. When she develops the picture, a huge secret is revealed. In fact, the lab where Jane went was where Tun's friends sexually abused Nader. They did it because of Nader's blackmailing of suicide. She told to her friends as well. So, for seeking revenge, they did it. When this happened to Nader, Tun was also present there. He was witnessing it, but he doesn't help her. Rather, he clicked her pictures to save his life and to take revenge on her. The negatives that Ain found were of these pictures. Tun's friend who was shown asking about the pictures, and that girl was about this. After that day, Nader attempted suicide but started chasing Tun's friend to seek her revenge. Because of her fear, all of Tun's friends attempted suicide one by one. Jane was so angry and she asks more about this from Tun. He accepts his sin here. He says that he did wrong. He says that he still didn't forgive himself for this mistake. He says that he regrets it. But Jane doesn't pay him ears and leaves. Tun was still really scared because of Nader's ghost. He felt her around him. Keeping this in mind, he clicks pictures of the whole house with that camera. He wanted to check where Nader is at this time. But he doesn't see Nader in the captured photos. He throws his camera away in anger. And then a picture is captured. He gets shocked when he sees that picture. In fact, Nader was on his shoulders. Nader closes his eyes by keeping her hands on his eyes in anger. When he couldn't see anything, he walks randomly and falls off the building. Then we see Tun in a hospital. He was very injured and had a lot of bandages. He was really shocked. Jane comes there to meet him. She starts crying after seeing his condition. She comes inside to meet him. We see Nader's reflection in the glass door again. She was still sitting on Tun's shoulders. This movie ends with this scene.